TrustLink provides innovative solutions and services that enable our customers to enhance information exchange and business process integration within the businesses, between different systems, business units, and locations, but also with external business partners. We are the preferred partner of several leading international technology solution providers, and TrustLink has a very long-standing relationship with IBM. With more than 15 years' experience in the integration and managed file transfer environment, data flows, and the governance of data, including management, monitoring, policy, it is really part of our DNA. We offer our solution on a subscription basis or as software as a service. It can also be an ownership or on-premise installation basis. TrustLink's professional services team are trained and, where applicable, certified by our partners to undertake the installation and customization of their solutions, as well as ongoing support according to the required service level agreements. We have developed a large pool of skills in order to support customers with knowledge and to enable customers to make use of the rich functionality of the solutions. Our help desk service is operated in line with service level agreements. The service is used to log and trace all incidents and service requests. Today, we will be focusing on one of the components in the B2B collaboration product suite, but I think it is important for you to understand how the solution all fits together. In the local context, file transfer plays an important role where information is exchanged with banks, credit bureaus, revenue authorities, and various other trading partners. Managed file transfer is a term that refers to solutions such as Connect Direct, with automation and secure file transfers, and also provides you with audit trails. TrustLink has been supporting the Connect Direct protocol since 2005, and over time, many role players have adopted Connect Direct for some of their critical file transfers. Here with a short overview on IBM Secure File Transfer.
Every day, the world creates 2.5 quintillion bytes of data, and a fair number of those bytes belong to your business. So how do you ensure continuous, secure data exchange when 42% of file transfer systems are already limited by growth in file volumes, and 63% are limited by the complexity of B2B transfers? Start with frictionless file movement designed for today's most demanding environments. Consider a regional credit union that needs to process their clients' daily payment files by close of business. The files are uploaded from the office to a remote corporate data center. Suddenly, a network disruption causes the FTP transmission to fail. It will take hours to find the failure and resend the batch, costing the company thousands in penalties. But there is a better way. IBM Secure File Transfer can help you put the squeeze on failed file transfers and associated penalties. Our resilient MFT platform detects transfer interruptions and automatically restarts transmissions from the point of failure to ensure secure, efficient file movement. Now let's talk about driving visibility and governance across your B2B ecosystem. The credit union's biggest customer sends its payroll file every Monday. This week, it doesn't arrive, putting the customer's payroll and the business relationship at risk. But with Secure File Transfer, when expected files aren't received, the system checks security perimeters, then automatically alerts you via email and on your personalized online dashboard, so you can proactively address the issue before it impacts the business. Finally, let's talk about standardizing on a common enterprise file transfer system. Our credit union's file transfer system was built in-house 15 years ago. They've made enhancements, but increasingly the system can't keep up with growing file volumes and sizes. Their custom applications and integrations have become complex and unsustainable, and security breaches in the news are fueling concern about the system's vulnerability. But with the Secure File Transfer platform, you can scale for high file volumes and sizes with an event-based architecture. Simplify system management with a consolidated platform and RESTful APIs. and secure data at rest and in motion to comply with regulations. To securely move data at the scale and speed of your business, learn how IBM Secure File Transfer can provide frictionless file movement and end-to-end visibility on a platform trusted by 2/3 of the top 50 banks worldwide.
There is a growing need in the market for multi-protocol file gateways that can handle connect direct file transfer as well as deal with various other protocols such as Secure FTP, FTP, MQ, and others. Sterling File Gateway has been largely adopted by some in the local market, with current users in banking, financial services, supply chain, telecommunication, and government sectors. Our aim is to assist organizations to consolidate and standardize all their data exchanges internally and with the external world. The following video gives a brief overview on B2b integration before that will go into more detail on the solution.
The volume of B2B data has grown by 50% a year for the last 5 years and shows no signs of slowing down. How do you manage this kind of complexity to ensure a gateway that is always on, secure, and cloud-enabled? You start first with high availability. In today's always-on global climate, even minor downtime can significantly impact your business. Consider a bank that needs to process loan documents by end of day. Files are uploaded by the West Coast office to a data center on the East Coast. The transaction is slowly processing. Suddenly, there's an unexpected outage. It will take hours to execute disaster recovery, costing the company millions in penalties. But with our B2B integration solutions, you never have to worry about financial penalties due to a failed transaction. Our high availability gateway with active file processing ensures near zero downtime, so you're always on, 24/7, 365. Now, let's talk about driving agility across IT operations. Take a typical healthcare company that primarily runs on-prem systems. Thanks to recurring network issues, power outages, and other failures, IT spends as much as 40% of their time and 80% of their IT budget every year maintaining legacy systems and ensuring uptime. But with the Docker containers in our B2B integration solutions, the company can seamlessly shift to a safer, more secure, and cost-effective infrastructure in the cloud. Even better, they've slashed the budget for legacy systems maintenance from 80% to just 30%. Finally, let's talk about modernizing processes with RESTful APIs. Consider a manufacturing company that has 20,000 trading partners, every one of which had to be manually onboarded, taking up to 10 weeks per partner. That's a lot of time, effort, and opportunity for error. But with RESTful APIs in our B2B integration solutions, they can automate the onboarding and account management processes. RESTful APIs streamline data collection and simplify integration with back-end systems and customer-facing applications. The result? A self-service model that cuts onboarding time to 30 days or less, while increasing productivity, agility, and flexibility. Learn how you can have frictionless, compliant, scalable transactions using B2B integration solutions.
I'm going to hand over to Ryan now. Thank you, Ryan.
Thank you, Madeline, for that great introduction. And thank you to the TrustLink team for your partnership as one of the premier trusted business partners in the region and worldwide. As mentioned, my name is Ryan Wood, and I'm happy to be here today to go over Sterling File Gateway. We can hit next here. One thing I'd like to do at the onset is to invite our customers to join the supply chain user community. Here you can connect with your peers. You can also connect with experts in B2B integration and managed file transfer, including members from our engineering team, our services team, and again, colleagues in your business areas. So please feel free to join the supply chain user community. We'll be hosting webcasts and webinars as new features and functions are released. but also share use cases of using the B2b integration and managed file transfer suite and the Sterling suite. You hit next here. So as mentioned, this is the Sterling suite of software. It was a good introduction here at the onset. So one of the things that we do take pride in is IBM is the market leader in managed file transfer and B2B integration. With that responsibility of being the market leader, we have to ensure that our products are meeting the use cases of our customers. One of the use cases that you'll see as we introduce here from many different industries, we'll discuss a couple use cases that may be applicable to your business. I'm here today to discuss Sterling File Gateway, and we'll give a brief overview of that, and then also go into some of the items on the roadmap for this product. You hit next. And I'm sorry, I'm having a little trouble seeing this. It's very small. One moment. Okay, I enlarge it there. So if anybody else has seen that, I think you can enlarge it on the WebEx console. So yes, this is Sterling File Gateway. So Sterling File Gateway is a managed file transfer solution. It is our flagship managed file transfer gateway. The whole goal of managed file transfer in general is to bring some order to your trading partner community, both in terms of partner management, but also ensuring secure file transfers. The Sterling File Gateway helps you reduce your onboarding costs. One of the things that you'll see both in reducing the onboarding cost is the nature of which onboarding occurs, both through REST API or through web-based partner-driven wizards that can significantly simplify your onboarding activities. We know you're dealing with an explosion of data sizes and file volumes, but also trading partners and onboarding activities. Sterling File Gateway can help you manage that. Improve your customer satisfaction. Trading partners can initiate and monitor data exchange activity, giving them the visibility into their file transfers. It can minimize the risk for their business by reliability and performance and concerns of edge-based data exchanges with very mission-critical data. One of the great things about File Gateway is the ability and the wide breadth of protocols and use cases that it supports. So never having to say no to an onboarding request to your business, opening up new lines of business perhaps within your organization, whether that be things like cloud object storage or traditional managed file transfer solutions with SFTP and Connect Direct. And as mentioned briefly, Sterling File Gateway also has capabilities to provide true 24/7, 365 high availability with our Global Mailbox product. Global Mailbox is a multi-data center solution. So if you do have an outage in a data center, Sterling File Gateway and Global Mailbox can easily fail over reliably with zero downtime over to the surviving data center. So you can certainly go into those use cases a little bit more as your business dictates and your requirements for that always-on capability. We can hit next. So a couple things I mentioned up front, the use cases by volume. So some of the questions I get a lot from our customers is certainly, identifying some trends in the market or some other customers that are using the solution. We have a wide range of customers in the market in South Africa, but also across the globe. Some of these customers are referenceable, some of them are not, so I won't name them by name. But some of our customers running Sterling File Gateway run a myriad of different use cases through the system. One being one of the largest supply chain management companies in the world who implemented Sterling File Gateway to scale with Amazon. One of the stories that they tell is Amazon's Prime Day, the biggest day from Amazon, at least in North America, I think it is worldwide as well, experienced several glitches in its first incarnation. And most of those were to the sheer volume that was being entered with orders on the Amazon website. This led to an incredible backlog of shipping orders where things, we think of shipping, we think of next day delivery, but it led to a backlog and customer dissatisfaction. Well, one of these vendors uses Sterling File Gateway, and what it was able to do was able to handle that burst of data and be able to scale to handle that incredible backlog. It took time to work through that backlog, but Sterling File Gateway performed. And as such, Amazon chose this vendor as the premier shipping company going forward with Amazon. So one of the premier solutions for this type of activity of file bursts and file volume. A couple other customers, Li and Feng, one of the Asian companies. In that area of the region, the busiest day there is 11/11 or Singles Day, which is our equivalent in North America to Black Friday and Cyber Monday. I'm sure there's very similar activities. And just, again, the theme of huge volumes where we're able to scale to handle several million transactions per hour. Ryder Truck, they implemented B2bI to support up to 3 billion transactions per month between internal operations and external business partners. And we have a very large government tax agency that provides file transfer infrastructure and individual and agency transmissions, including millions of files per hour during peak periods. And I don't have this quote on here, but one of the great things that I've heard from some of our customers, especially the ones that trust us in the banking industry, is that if Sterling goes down, they're on the 6 o'clock news. So it really is humbling to have this responsibility of these mission critical data and use cases that run through Sterling File Gateway. So a couple things on the strategy and vision. One of my jobs as offering management is to study the market and also, connect with our analysts that cover this space. These are the IDCs, the Gartners, the Forresters, and also feedback from our customers. So there's several key themes that are being really predominant in the file transfer and B2b integration markets, mostly around cloud strategy. IDC is telling us if you don't have a container strategy already, you need one. Containers are the future of software. We couldn't agree more with that. And you'll see some things that we're doing in that hybrid cloud space. But the next generation of software needs turnkey solutions for orchestration and microservices that are optimized for elasticity and scale. So you'll see how we're simplifying our suite of software with one button push deployment patterns of our solutions. The whole concept of cloud will continue to evolve. It was, a lot of context when we think of cloud as more public cloud setting, the IBM clouds, the AWSs of the world. But more important is the whole concept of private clouds or hybrid clouds. And that's really where the majority of B2B and managed file transfer still resides. Either systems of data records still live in your data centers, but then you also have use cases perhaps with these new cloud object storage options, or perhaps these new tools that are built for the cloud and need to have solutions that can scale and be able to connect these on-premise systems to solutions in the cloud. So you'll see we have a very robust hybrid cloud strategy. And of course, security cannot be undermined. This is probably the most important thing in our managed file transfer suite of software. No surprise here that financial services sector was attacked 65% more on average across all industries over the past few years. So we have to provide very secure gateways, including the solutions that surround it. That includes some of our market-leading protocols like Connect Direct, but also making sure that we adhere to the more standard protocols out there, whether that be SFTP, and ensuring that we provide the latest in algorithms and key exchanges. And then finally, our solutions also have to be highly available and have to scale. So that's certainly critical when we talk about those explosion in data sizes and file volumes that you're dealing with. So these are the things that our portfolio is looking to tackle and help you deal with as a business. We can hit next here. No surprise here, but one of the things, again, from our analyst perspective, is that when you're identifying needs for managed file transfer solutions, is really what we're seeing as a drive in those security and regulatory compliance, whether that be GDPR, whether that be data residency type issues of data that resides in a certain data center has to be processed in a certain data center. These regulatory compliance mandates rigorous reviews of your security, your governance and compliance frameworks and policies. So we have a lot of experience working with our clients in these industries that are highly regulated, and certainly have a partner in TrustLink that can help you with this compliance requirements. Your IT departments are facing dilemmas on how to govern file transfers, so how to deal with explosion in file sizes, so ensuring, again, that our solutions can scale, but also providing that visibility and monitoring into your systems. So our suite of software looks to address and provide this type of capability for your business. You can hit next. So one of the things I mentioned is how we can help you simplify your cloud journey. So a lot of customers that we talk to in the financial services industry, this would be something that was not on your radar, I'm sure, a few years ago, but this has been accelerated very, very quickly. And again, we talk about cloud. We talk about that private cloud as well as keeping your existing infrastructure. But how can we make more efficient use of it? How can we help you reduce your total cost of ownership by moving to containers? So our Sterling B2B collaboration suite of software have certified containers that are certified to run on the market leader of container orchestration, which is Red Hat OpenShift. You might be familiar with, we're celebrating the 1-year anniversary of the partnership with Red Hat. So we're really excited about the capabilities that Red Hat is delivering and partnering with our suite of software. Red Hat OpenShift is the market leader in container orchestration, boasting over 1,000 customers in production live on Red Hat OpenShift as of May 2019. One of the things that we're seeing as we just introduced these certified containers is several business value assessments that we're doing with our clients in the goal to, again, reduce the complexity of managed file transfer and B2B solutions, but also boost the productivity of your team and make sure we can help you get into production quicker, increasing your deployment velocity. So with our switch to containers, what we've seen is a 2 to 3 time increase in deployment velocity. And those who work with managed file transfer systems and are on the technical side of the team or the DevOps team will appreciate that. Appreciate this, 19% less effort for day-to-day application maintenance compared to our traditional installation. So the move to containers is not just the next technology to jump to, but this is a real way to increase your productivity, but also help you reduce your operating costs. So we'll talk a little bit more as we go on. We can hit next here. We set out our strategy. Some of the key drivers for our approach was to keep an open approach. So our products are built on open technologies from Kubernetes to deployment patterns such as Helm. Our goal is that you can build once and deploy anywhere. So that's one of the beauties of having a container orchestration software like Red Hat OpenShift that provides that control plane over all of your applications of being able to quickly deploy software with the click of a button. But also we understand that this is a skills gaps for a lot of our customers, including ourselves as well. This is a new skill of learning these technologies. So we know it'll take time to move to these solutions. So we hope we can partner with you to come up with these roadmaps, perhaps for your business as well, of helping you move to the next step in your hybrid cloud journey. So partnering with IBM and our TrustLink partners can show the value of our certified containers, but also show you how we can help you reduce your cost of ownership going forward. You hit next. So as I alluded to, some of the things that we're looking at from studies with some of our clients, we have many projects kicking off across the globe with our certified Docker containers running on Red Hat OpenShift. And what we're looking to do and we're looking to capitalize on is the opportunity to help you lower your cost, so lowering your infrastructure cost. Our certified containers are much more lightweight. As you compare containers to virtual machines, you can pack many more containers on hardware than you can your traditional virtual machines. So we can help you take more advantage of your infrastructure that you currently are using in your data center. Also give more time back to your IT staff of having to focus on very tedious application maintenance and simplifying that. That's one of the biggest pain points that we hear in the B2B and managed file transfer space is the difficulty it is to maintain and to be able to keep up with these security and governance compliance that are frequently change. Therefore, those require application maintenance, and we want to make that process easier for you. And what we're seeing as compared to our traditional installation is an 80% reduction in installation effort and time. So we take the time that it takes traditionally to deploy the product compared to our certified containers, and we have a nice business case so we can help you save on those type of costs by increasing deployment velocity. So we can hit next here. So Sterling File Gateway, as I mentioned, is our flagship transfer solution that serves as a hub of sorts for all kinds of business cases, both internal and external. Our latest version in market is version 6.03. We released this in December. This has several enhancements in it. It has been iterated on a few times. 6.0 was released in August of 2018. So you'll see here in just a moment a brand new user experience with our managed file, with our My File Gateway product, which is great way to interact with your trading partner community, or perhaps internal line of business users that don't have the capabilities of managed file transfer, but need to do business with your organization using a browser. So we'll talk about that and show a demo here just shortly. As I mentioned, our File Gateway product is also very open. It can be deployed virtually on any platform, whether that be traditionally on a virtual machine, on hardware like a power system, or in the cloud with our certified containers. We have customers today running on all of our public clouds that are out there, but also many customers running on distributed systems across the globe. One of the things we also want to highlight here today is version 6.1 is our new release that we're looking to bring to market. We're currently under development right now, and we have a lot of features that we're looking to build based on customer input. So you'll see some things that we're doing here with built-in PGP capabilities for secure file transfers, but also helping reduce the cost and complexity of these complex business-to-business or B2B use cases around file transformation. If you are interested, for those that are currently running Sterling File Gateway or want to get a demo or perhaps get a little bit more information about this, we can partner with both with TrustLink and also myself. We do have a beta access program running right now for version 6.1, where you can get access to these certified containers and deploy them in your environments for early access to get both input from you, but also give you experience with some of these new features and capabilities. So if there's any interest, feel free to reach out to myself or your TrustLink team. So with that, I think we have a quick video on My File Gateway we'd like to show.
The new My File Gateway 2.0 comes with a simplified UI and enhanced features. To enable the UI, your administrator must perform some post-installation steps. Start by viewing file activities in a simple format. Use filters in the ribbon to customize what you see. For example, apply the date range filter to view activities for a specific month. The file activities are displayed across pages. Define the pagination for the number of items to display in each page. Enter the file name to search activities in the current page. Want to view only some columns? No problem. Hide the columns. Click the file name for which you want to view the details and events. You can also view the route, delivery details, and events for a specific file transfer. Go to your profile configuration to subscribe to event notifications. You can view a quick snapshot of your subscribed events. Your ability to subscribe to event notifications depends on your user permissions. You can upload or download multiple files in one go. Producers can drag or select multiple files for upload. After you add files to the folder, it automatically starts uploading them, and the status is updated once the process is complete. You can also pause and resume the file upload. You can click the arrow to move the file upward in the queue. Log in as a consumer to download files. You can download multiple files individually or in a compressed folder. New items available for download are displayed with a green dot. Here's a quick recap of the My File Gateway 2.0 UI. You now know how to upload and download multiple files, view the file activities with pagination, apply filters, and view file details in a simple format.
So we wanted to highlight there is perhaps you've seen this, perhaps you have not, but this is a brand new user interface, but also a brand new user experience. That screen can be skinned for your business. So you picture a gateway that you can enable for your trading partner community where they log in with your logo very securely and be able to do file transfers. This is browser based, so while there's the limitations on file sizes have actually increased over time with modern browsers and HTTP requirements. We've tested upwards of files to 5 to 7 gigabytes. The transfer speed of our browsers is the greatest. So these are typically used for smaller files, but you can find use cases, I'm sure, for both internal line of business users, but also external users. And you saw some pieces there too from the visibility aspect of being able to subscribe to your events around file transfer. So you want to give your users all access that they need for doing business with you very securely, very reliably, in a very modern way. As I mentioned, version 6.1 is currently under development, and we're looking to bring this to market very soon this quarter. One of the key cornerstones of this release will be around security and reducing the complexity around business-to-business and managed file transfer exchanges. One of the things that we're building in the product is built-in PGP, which stands for pretty good privacy. I would argue that it's pretty great privacy. What PGP is a very popular way of securing file transfers, both in managed file transfers and business-to-business use cases. We are building this capability directly into File Gateway, so you'll be able to interact with the UI to both onboard for your trading partners. We have new REST APIs that will also be able to do this as well. So from your DevOps cycles, something that you can expose for both self-service capabilities or for also onboarding and bulk. So one of those features is going to give you the ability to be able to deal with those encryption and decryption activities natively in File Gateway. We continue to invest in our REST APIs. Sterling File Gateway has a rich user interface that provides your developers all the access they need for onboarding and maintenance activities, but we also have a full suite of REST APIs. These REST APIs, virtually everything that you can do in the product via a mouse click is now exposed through a REST API. So as a developer, you can access these REST APIs, generate Swagger files, and dictate business rules around onboarding into your File Gateway, which will simplify your development activities and onboarding activities. I think the file size of the PowerPoint, there we go. And then also file operations. One of the things that we're seeing in our interactions with customers and in the market is the whole concept of managed file transfer, which is typically taking a file from computer to computer and sending it reliably. What we're seeing now is more customers are interested in inspecting that file or interrogating that file or manipulating that data in the file. Sterling File Gateway provides these capabilities out of the box. And one of the things that we're doing is providing this and making this easier. So if you have use cases of taking files perhaps from a mainframe system that has to do some file manipulation, whether that be changing from one file encoding to another, or doing removing carriage return line feeds, which is a very popular activity, that can be done very seamlessly and very easily in the UI when you set up your trading partner community. And again, you saw a glimpse into My File Gateway 2.0. We continue to invest in this UI, and we also have provided making this easier. This is something that is configured out of the box now with 6.1. So as a File Gateway customer, you can go and run this very easily and very quickly. So 6.1, as I mentioned, is something that we're working on and will be out very soon. If we could hit next here. And we can hit next here. One of the things I wanted to just show at a high level, some of the exciting things that we're doing, and I won't dig into this chart too much. I just wanted to show you some of the things that we're doing as you consider your hybrid cloud strategy. The elements of a platform strategy really around the governance and making sure that you have the monitoring capabilities and what I'll call day one activities around installing the product. We can accomplish this again with Red Hat OpenShift. And one of the things that we're seeing as we look to simplify the installation and maintenance of the product is also taking more of a modular approach of breaking the complexity and breaking the what is often referred to as a monolithic application down into smaller components. This allows us to scale. If you're having issues around performance, around file transfers, Kubernetes can automatically scale up your protocol adapters to quickly respond to performance problems in your supply chain. So we're working with our customers on next generation architectures for both security, but also for scale. You can hit next here. One of the things our certified containers do, as I mentioned, are open. They run on any Kubernetes-based platform. However, by partnering with Red Hat OpenShift, we can provide the next level of support and the next level of integration. You have an end-to-end solution from IBM with both managed file transfer and support for Kubernetes and orchestration around your file transfer solutions. So you'll see that we can partner with a one-stop shop with IBM for all of your hybrid cloud and all your deployment options with managed file transfer. So I'd be happy to dig into this more with your team, your DevOps team, and TrustLink and ourselves would be very happy to show demos and go into a little bit more detail after the call. We can hit next here. I won't. One of the things I want to mention is Red Hat OpenShift. If you have not seen this, it's a very powerful tool for managing cloud solutions. I'm sure you might find that you have some Red Hat in your organization already, being how popular OpenShift is. But it provides rich dashboards of logging and monitoring. And one of the beauties of OpenShift is the ease in deployment. So through this console, you can log in very quickly with a push of a button with a deployment pattern to quickly deploy Sterling File Gateway, which is something in the past, something that we couldn't quite claim. So again, we'd be happy to go over a demo with you as well, and how we can simplify your maintenance activities around your managed file transfer solutions. A big part of our strategy is our REST APIs. I know APIs are all that your organization is likely talking about, are widely popular, and use cases are exploding by the day. Virtually every single vendor and every single solution has REST APIs. The Sterling File Gateway and our solutions are no different. So we have a wide range of REST APIs that make it very easy for your developers and your admins to interact with these APIs. So these are provided at no additional cost with Sterling File Gateway. You can deploy these. These are optional, but this is something that is very powerful that you can take advantage of to help support onboarding activities. We can hit next. One of the great questions I get from our customers is a lot to, hey, REST APIs are great. I understand the concept of them. I understand that this is a great way to interface with this product and make sure that we can help the promise of self-service onboarding. Well, one of those things that you have to do with APIs is build around those APIs. So you need business rules, you need business logic, you need some development around those APIs to be able to take an onboarding activity that is typically very manual. I don't know what your processes are, but we work with a lot of clients with onboarding requests that are very manual and spreadsheet driven. The goal is to automate that. So we have turnkey solutions like Partner Engagement Manager that's in our solution, in our suite of software, that exposes a user interface for your trading partners to onboard themselves. So you can put the onus of onboarding to your trading partner communities, or perhaps your internal line of business users. You can establish rules around onboarding where, if you only do SFTP and that's already been established, that's all your trading partner will see is the opportunity to log in and upload their SSH key, which then will automatically deploy that on Sterling File Gateway. So if you have not seen Partner Engagement Manager, this tool has been purpose-built for Sterling File Gateway. We have use cases where, as I mentioned, that manual way of onboarding, typically through spreadsheets. We also have use cases of perhaps onboarding requests coming from a tool like Salesforce or ServiceNow, which again is very API driven. Partner Engagement Manager can plug into virtually any API. So we can take onboarding activities from a ServiceNow or a Salesforce, turn that around and do self-service onboarding into Sterling File Gateway. So again, this tool is something that we can demo very quickly and very for you and your team. And we can show you ways that we can simplify onboarding activities by putting that and offering self-service capabilities. I don't know about you, and I haven't traveled in a while, but when I go to the airport, I always go to the self-service kiosk. I want to get in and out as quickly as possible. And that's kind of what Partner Engagement Manager does, and that's what our REST APIs enable. So if you haven't seen Partner Engagement Manager or have explored our REST APIs, I invite you to do so, and we'd be happy to go into more use cases along those. So I know we have about 10 minutes left. One of the things I wanted to do is give some time as well for questions and answers. So I won't go into detail here. I know most of our customers here deal with typically managed file transfer use cases, but also customers that do business with EDI, but also a glimpse of what is to come from our portfolio. Newer products are born on the cloud, both from our supply chain business network, our IBM cloud, whether that be new APIs or new tools. We look to bring those to our on-premise customers. And one of those examples is a tool called Business Transaction Intelligence. If we can hit next. This tool is born on the cloud and it interfaces with Watson. One of the capabilities it does is natural language search to provide end-to-end EDI visibility around order to payment type of scenarios, where you can ask Watson in natural language in the top toolbar, show me all purchase orders from a particular vendor. Watson learns about the supply chain and gets smarter over time. And this tool is wildly popular on our SaaS-based solution. We are bringing this to our B2BI customers on premise very soon. So this is more to come. We look to see more business use cases as well for this around managed file transfer use cases, exploring use cases around blockchain, and ensuring you have end-to-end visibility into your file transfers. So I just wanted to show you some of the investments that we're making across our portfolio. And we can hit next on this as well, some detail on how that works from sending and receiving. And we can hit next here. So I wanted to take some time to turn it back over to the TrustLink team. We have some time to stay on for some questions and answers. So with that, I'll turn it back to Madeline and the TrustLink team.
Thank you, Ryan. Thanks for all the detail that you shared with us. I'm sure everybody's very excited to see how this will actually apply to their environment. We are going to start with our panel discussion now. I think Igmar has mentioned that you can send questions to the chat box, or you can email your requests to digital@trustlink.co.za. But I think we have already a few questions that we have for Ryan, and I'm actually going to ask Michael to run the panel discussion for us. Thanks, Michael.
Thanks a lot, Madeleine. Hi, Ryan. One of the questions that come up regularly from our side is, in your words, can you just describe or give us the difference between Connect Direct and SFG?
Yes, that's a great question. And actually, I want to invite, Dirk, I don't want to put you on the spot, but I know you have a lot of experience with our Connect Direct product, and we talked about some of our secure file transfers. Is that something that you'd be able to speak to?
Sure, I'd be glad to. So very simply, Connect Direct, it takes more of a point-to-point file transfer approach for those types of use cases where you have different servers, different platforms, could be a mainframe, could be a Linux server, a Windows server, and they basically talk the Connect Direct language to exchange files with each other. Whereas File Gateway takes a different approach, multi-protocols. It certainly supports Connect Direct, and Ryan mentioned that, supports many other protocols as well, including different flavors of FTP, SFTP, AS2, browser, as you saw with my File Gateway. And File Gateway uses more of a hub and spoke type approach where it leverages the mailboxing capabilities of the gateway to collect information from customers and partners and suppliers. So both leading solutions, but slightly different use cases.
All right. So another question. So in South Africa, there's a requirement to share data with revenue authorities. And at times these files end up becoming quite large. Is there a limitation on the file size when it comes to SFG sending files?
Yeah, it's a great question. And this goes back to just understanding that, we completely understand that these file transfers and these file sizes are increasing. So the quick answer is no. There's not any hard limits around file sizes in File Gateway. To get a level deeper, you really have to look at the protocol in general. Things like HTTP through browser base at one time did have a 2 GB limit. That has been lifted with HTTP 2.0. So you have to get into some of the RFCs for the protocols, and I won't get too nerdy here today and go into those. But SFTP is a very popular protocol in File Gateway that can handle very large file transfers. With File Gateway, you actually have the ability to tune from, if you're acting as the server in which your client is connecting to you, you have the ability to set file resumption periods. So every block of data, whether that be every 1 gigabyte, commit that. So if there is a break in the file transfer, because you are dealing with a large file transfer, and sometimes those take time, especially with geographic affinity. If you're closer to the system, obviously file transfers are quicker. But file resumption allows you to pick up where you left off. So if there was a file transfer that was very large and you got halfway through and a blip occurs or the network goes down or your Wi-Fi goes down, Sterling File Gateway has the ability to keep those in our mailbox, and when you reconnect, be able to pick up right where you left off. Connect Direct even takes that a step further. Connect Direct is excellent at handling large file transfers with their checkpoint restart capabilities. So again, it's all about making sure that you don't lose that, I'll call it equity, when you go to upload a file. We can pick up right where you left off. It's a great question, but there's no hard limits on transfers. You just have to make sure you have the infrastructure to scale. If you're dealing with terabyte files, we've got to make sure that you have enough hardware from a storage perspective to be able to handle those files transfers. So we'd be happy to dig in with you further on that. And again, partner with TrustLink that can help with planning those type of use cases, but also scaling your environment to make sure you're ready to handle that scale.
Okay, perfect. So we have a question. If you can explain what Global Mailbox is and how it integrates with SFG.
Yeah, excellent question. So one of the things there that we have seen with our communities is the desire to be always on. And always on is a very ambiguous term. Does always on mean that from a trading partner's perspective, they can always keep the lights on, if you will, that you can always do file transfers no matter what goes on in the back end? Well, one of the challenges with that always on is disaster recovery and failure scenarios. If there's multiple studies on this, but one of the most popular reasons of why systems go down is typically networking or infrastructure. So if a data center would happen to go down or power is lost, or talking to a customer if a pipe bursts in a data center, most customers have some disaster recovery in place where they can fail over, and it takes multiple hours in some scenarios to make sure you can fail over. What Global Mailbox does is it does active-active, meaning that you can split File Gateway over multiple data centers. And data centers can be both physical, in the sense where you can have a data center in South Africa and maybe a data center in North America. Global Mailbox keeps all of your file exchanges in sync. So when a file comes in, it gets routed to the data center that's responding quickest. That's where your active-active comes in. If your user's originating from North America, typically that will get pushed to the North American data center, not always. But one of the beauties is if a failure does occur, that file was automatically replicated to the data center that's up and running. So again, in a failure scenario, your trading partner would reconnect and be able to pick up right where they left off in the data center that's in South Africa. And it does happen in real time. We use the Aspera Fast protocol, which is a very high-speed protocol. And what we can do is when that file is coming in, let's take again a 50 gigabyte file, you have the opportunity to start sending that file over even before the transmission is complete. So before that final record is written from your client that all the 50 gigabytes have been transferred, Global Mailbox can start sending that data over to the second data center even before the file is committed. That's where that failure scenario comes in. If a file transfer should break because of a data center outage, the trading partner will reconnect, a slight inconvenience, of course, but be able to pick up right where they left off. So there's a lot more to it. We'd be happy to spend more time to go into that, including some of our use cases from banks around the world using Global Mailbox. So great question there, and we'll go into further detail as a follow-up.
Okay, so I think last question before we run out of time. So in a scenario where you would have multiple partners to exchange information, it sometimes becomes a challenge to manage all those different user IDs and passwords. Does SFG deal with all the user security information and ensure secure access is maintained across the environment?
Yeah, this is an incredible challenge that we understand, especially with managing partner communities. So there's multiple ways to tackle this. One is in the product itself. Typically what we see with trading partners and authorization oftentimes is not what we refer to as internal authentication, where File Gateway itself is handling the authentication. It can certainly do that, but what most customers use is external authentication. So whether that be an LDAP system or an external identity provider like an IBM Security Access Manager or other tools that may be out there. So we have options to work with those authentication servers, but managing that can be a problem. And one of the things that I talked to a little bit was our REST APIs. One of the great things about File Gateway that it does is provide structure around community management and partner management. That structure lends itself very well to REST APIs that build structure around onboarding. So with that data and all those trading partners that you have to manage, a tool like Partner Engagement Manager that I described very briefly is very critical to be able to manage in that partner repository. So there are ways to handle it depending on what your authentication types are in File Gateway directly, both through its wizard-driven capabilities, also with partnering with an identity provider like an LDAP server or Active Directory, but then also partner management of being able to open it up to self-service capabilities, which can even make your lives even easier by offering that with Partner Engagement Manager. So again, we'd be happy to go into a little bit more on that, and we can actually show you how you can authenticate against for identity providers, but also manage self-service capabilities with Partner Engagement Manager, which then onboards to File Gateway via REST APIs.
Thank you, Ryan. Thanks, Michael. I can't believe we've run out of time, but it's 4 o'clock. So just quickly, the questions that we were not able to answer, we'll get back to you afterwards. Also, we'll be sharing with you our next webinar, which will be around PayLink, that is built on IBM SFG and B2b. And we'd like to thank you for spending this afternoon with us.